hear me?
Can hear you just fine.
Welcome back to the show.
Here we are on different continents.
Here we are. I'm in Italy.
How fancy of you. That's a fine looking room you have there, or a podcast studio that they set up for you in Italy.
Maybe the finest ever, actually. Pretty psyched.
Which town are you in right now, if you feel free to share, or if
I
you
think
want
it's
to
called
throw
Lu.
smoke?
Yeah, no, I don't mind. We could discuss fully, actually. I want to say it's called Luciano. It's about 45 minutes outside of Florence. It's in Tuscany.
Okay. Are you doing the Tuscan thing? Are you eating, praying, loving?
We're doing the eating portion. Um,
What was the,
um,
didn't, wasn't, Italy was the eating portion, wasn't it? Or wait, where did she
of
go?
course.
Was
Yeah,
it
Italy
Italy?
was the eating portion. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm gonna try to take you to look outside. I don't know if this cord is long enough.
Where was the loving
Uh,
portion? Thailand?
eat, pray would have
Yeah,
been
Prey was
Italy.
India. Prey was India. Love was Thailand.
Love was Thailand or Bali.
Oh, Bali. You're right, Bali.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to get out the window. So this is our view.
Oh, phenomenal. Well, that's just pure beauty. For all those only listening, not on YouTube, it is a pastoral scene that has been painted by the great masters of old.
This house was built in 1891. It's actually two houses. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It's actually two houses that were joined together in 1891. So
Holy matrimony.
the original homes, I'm not sure when they were built, but the joining was 1891. Um, and it's like 10 bedrooms. There's a pool, there's a tennis court. It's pretty epic, actually.
Are
There's
you
a
going to
winery.
be
It's part of a winery.
are you going to be depressed and despondent when you get back home?
I don't think I'm coming.
Yep. That's the right attitude right there. Why?
I mean, look, I'm glad to discuss it here with you. This is the first, last week I recorded 12 podcasts before coming. This is the first podcast I've recorded since I've been here. I'm glad to be able to discuss it and share it with you. But me retelling it and showing you a photo out the window or video out the window does not do it justice. I
Of
wish you
course
could
not.
all be here with me.
Man, we should do a listener trip. Screw the listener surf trip. We should do, I mean, I guess the Noble Rot listener trip can be to non-surf locations like Tuscany.
It would be on the top of the list. If you could
Yeah.
pick, it'd be right there on the top.
So here's the thing with traveling to epic spots, especially the older you get, right? I feel like as a younger person, it's new, experiencing new places, right? Like going different, new, varied, seeing the world, I suppose. Older then, do you start repeating? Like, are you like, screw it, I don't need to go anywhere else. Tuscany is where I'm going to come, like it here, like the food, like the vibe, like everything about it. Don't need to go anywhere else. Why? Anywhere else, don't need more experience.
I guess you're right. I didn't connect those things to age, but it's exactly how it's played out for me. I wanted to explore the world, and now I'm 43, and redundancy feels better to me.
Yeah, going to the places you know and love already and experiencing them in a richer, deeper way.
So I am grateful that my first trip to Venice, Italy, was when I was 16 years old. And I remember going, and the advice at the time was do 3 days. Like
Yeah.
Venice feels redundant. Do 3 nights. Once you've done it, you'll be happy you did it. It's magical. You'll be thrilled, but it gets redundant. You don't need more than 3 days. This was my fourth time going to Venice on this trip. And I gotta say, I could spend every afternoon for the rest of my life on a canal watching the boats go by.
You
Like
need
that
more days.
advice, yeah, that advice originally, I understand why they said it. I guess if you're only going to go for 2 weeks to Italy for your entire life, limit Venice to 3 days. But if you're going to go back repeatedly, Venice is kind of incredible.
Well,
Like it is redundant. It's all the same, but it's the best thing in the world.
I feel that advice is for the younger person trying to get about, right? That is for the I'm
Yeah.
backpacking around Europe. And I mean, exactly as you said, I have a limited amount of time. limited budget, limited resources. So yeah, don't squat somewhere. But it's totally true. Like squatting somewhere is, which yeah, this past summer, or not this past one, 2 summers ago, thanks to ballet and the Olympics, got to squat in Paris for, I don't know what it was, 6 weeks, right? Which I had never spent that much time in Paris, but getting to know 6 weeks worth of experience, it's just like you realize that, oh man, yeah, you just started scratching it and now you can scratch a little deeper. Or this past summer in New York felt the same way of I never spent 6 weeks in New York City, but now, I don't know, of course you're not a local ever, but you're getting, yeah, that much more experience. You're squeezing that much more juice out of the lemon.
I think that's going to be the second phase of my life is my wife and I both can work remotely. And why wouldn't we?
Yeah, why not?
Well, and then people say, well, because you don't want to uproot the kid. If the kid has friends, you don't want to break up those friendships. And I'm weighing that out and I'm thinking
Who cares?
the yeah, the life experience of new language, new culture, new foods, new everything is actually worth it to sacrifice a long-term friendship here and there. He's going to make friends along the way and
Sure.
multiply those, and I think it's all a win.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's what, in terms of that, in terms of if you can actually be remote, travel the world while working, well, I mean, why wouldn't you do it?
I I can't think of a reason not to.
That's what I'm saying. Would you consider selling it all, selling everything you own, putting it in some mutual fund, pulling out enough for Airbnb rentals around the world for 3 years?
I don't think I could convince my wife and family to do that. I think that the only way you pull it off is because stability for the kid to be able to have a successful time doing that, he needs the stability of a mom and dad who are always there for him, providing love and attention and all that sort of thing. Then he can go rogue, as long as you have stability. And I think the same thing might apply for the family unit as well, is you can't fully appreciate the wanderlust unless you know you have some stability somewhere that you can always fall back on. So if there were a way to rent out the house at home, so that's the cost of that is covering itself and it's accruing, the asset is accruing in value and then you're utilizing your cash flow, your earnings off of your job to fund the travel and the wanderlust, that might be the right equation
Fantastic. Well, is that where you would get if you had to put roots down? Would it be in Tuscany?
for a year.
Yeah. Good. Smart.
Let's do a year in Tuscany. Let's do a year in Portugal. Let's do a year Hawaii,
Yep.
calling my name for 30 years.
Why not? If not
Yeah,
now, when?
next year.
Yeah.
Last year. Should have been last year, actually. Um, so my other question to you is, or it's not even a question, it's just an acknowledgement. My personality changes
Oh,
when I
yeah.
travel and I'm in these places, and my wife's does too.
Do you feel like how? Like more sophisticated, better mannered, more intelligent? Which changes?
I dress, first of all, you dress differently.
Yeah.
So so it's like sorry, got to check a text message. Um you bring a different wardrobe than you would have worn at home already. So then you're dressing differently. Then you're holding yourself differently. Then you're ordering things that you wouldn't normally order at home, which is, by the way, you should. Like if
Yeah.
you're in Venice and seafood is the thing, you're going to eat seafood that you wouldn't have eaten at home because they don't have it at home. You know what I mean? So it's all appropriate, but it then starts to take over a little bit
Well, here's the thing though. It's true, but you are I would imagine, and nothing against home David Lee Scales, but I would imagine on the road David Lee Scales is a better version, a more refined version of the home version.
Absolutely. That's why
Yeah.
you should travel. That's why it's good for your kid.
Well, the thing, I mean, truly about the wardrobe you bring, and especially like a place like Italy, right, where it's well more dressed up than here. I mean, your average Italian, older Italian man still goes out in a three-piece suit, right? And everybody, there's more thought given to what you wear. So you can't just show up like a slob. So then you dress better, you feel better, da 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 da. Da. Then you go home and think, there's so much of clothes make the man kind of thing, right? They inform, I'm going to do this every time I've gone home. I'll be able to pull off my more sophisticated, thoughtful wardrobe for about 4 days. And then I'm back to slob bill what I wear at home because that's what I wear at home. And then all of a sudden your life is on a slippery slope back to the gutter.
Which makes that's when you start rethinking where you live.
Yeah.
You're like, my community's bringing me down.
Yeah, it's true. My community is making me a slob.
They're letting me get away with this,
Yep.
and they're patting you on the back
Yep.
and rushing you to the bottom. I
Yep.
need to be around sophisticates.
So true. Time to move.
All right. Well, trying to encourage everybody.
Great.
The other thought I had was Lauren's, it was Lauren's birthday a couple of nights ago. We were in Venice, and I did my best triangulation of information with Yelp and Google reviews and TripAdvisor to find the appropriate restaurant.
Yep.
Not going to break the bank, but it's going to be the best, right? And gotta say, I executed on all fronts.
Fine.
And the night before, we got the full tourist trap dupe. Like,
Happens.
great,
Happens in Venice in particular.
dude. I mean, I am still fuming. Like, crazy expensive, super mediocre, and treated as if we should have been honored to be in the presence of these waiters in the restaurant, you know?
Bummer. Bummer.
So, yeah, so that was a bummer. And coming off of that, I had kind of tempered expectations for the birthday dinner. But we entered the restaurant and it meandered in as complex direction as the streets of Venice themselves. It's like you enter the restaurant and it's all small and tight. You look to the right and there's like a dining room over there. You're like, oh, cool. And then there's two tables over in this little corner over here. And then you make a left and you make a right. And it's a maze. Like I'll never find my way back from the bathroom. But they walked us through all the way to private room.
Ooh, nice.
And I gotta say, the private room is an elevated dining experience.
Absolutely.
Anytime, anytime I've ever been in a private room, it becomes the best meal.
I feel that the private room is one of those things that if you do it too much, though, you destroy. Like, I would imagine celebrities who can't eat really in public, the private room in a restaurant is like whatever to them, right? I think
That's true.
you sprinkle your private room in once, twice a year for the private room, and then that maintains its like peak private roomness.
I can count on one hand how many times I've had it in my entire life. Forget about
Yeah.
once a year. It's like three times in my life probably, but each time I didn't see it coming. Like I didn't book this private room. It's just we had a party at 10 and so
Got the private room.
that fit us. Yeah. But our my sister and brother-in-law have a 7-month-old baby. So it's like, okay, the baby can now scream. They could actually change the diaper in the corner. We can now talk at whatever volume we want. There's nobody going to be offended. It's like everything about it is better and it feels more luxurious.
Man, what was the main course? What was the primi, the
So,
secondi?
so preemie, so it was, appetizer course was, well, first they brought like an amuse bouche, which is a carpaccio, untraditional for Venice. It's a Spanish dish, but a cold tomato soup, phenomenal. Then we did a eggplant carpaccio, which was phenomenal. Never had eggplant prepped that way. They did this caprese salad, which was their own inventive interpretation of it, which was like they somehow like they pureed the tomatoes and reconstituted it into a mold that was the shape of a
Mm.
tomato and it was infused with the cheese and then like a basil kind of reduction on the top. Fantastic. A foie gras and a scallop and risotto appetizer.
When in Italy, it's impossible to think of any other food as the best. Uh, yeah, Italian food, really. I mean, again, my turn through, I love French food, but the variety and flavor of Italian, oof,
Totally agree. Yeah, when you're here, you think of nothing else.
Nothing else. You don't even, when I'm there, I don't even crave my typical Southeast Asian flavor palette.
Could you imagine going to like a a Thai restaurant in Italy?
No, I could not. And I go to Thai restaurants everywhere that I can.
I know. Although, conversely, pizza everywhere I go on the planet.
Yeah, for sure. But I was going to ask you, you're in Italy now, and I'm going to say something controversial here, David Lee Scales. I like New York pizza better than Italian pizza.
I Yeah, that is controversial. I cannot back that.
A New York slice is better than a traditional Italian slice. It just is.
You can
I'm talking about the best New York, like a good versus good here.
The world remains divided on this. This is a hot topic. Chicago will get involved at some point. Sicily will get involved at some point. Detroit, apparently, actually, New Haven, Connecticut has
Yeah,
phenomenal pizza culture. Jersey, but to my mind, the wood fire oven, Neapolitan style margarita pizza reigns supreme.
big slice of pepperoni in New York City can't beat.
You like the grease?
Yeah, I do. I do. I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
the type. That's the type you bend into the fold,
And
and the
just
grease just
drip, it just rains a
drains.
grease waterfall
Post
as your owners
sinus
boost.
grease drip.
Yeah.
Well, this segues beautifully into Leonardo Fioravanti's wedding, which I did not get an invite for. I am not in Italy for Leonardo Fioravanti's wedding, but he held a incredible extravaganza at a villa or a castle and married his longtime girlfriend.
Would you have gone had you gotten the invite? How much trains, planes, automobiles, how much like kink would you have put into wife's ostensibly the wife's birthday trip to go attend Leo Fioravanti's Italian wedding?
3 hour train ride is the max I'd give it.
Really?
Yeah.
Not four.
Two, okay, maybe 2 hours.
2 hours. So definitely not four.
Definitely not four.
Okay.
Um,
What if you could
yeah,
plus one? You couldn't bring the kid. You'd have to sort out childcare, but they said plus one, David Lee Scales, black tie.
okay, so we're here not for my wife's birthday. It happens to align with, but it's actually her mom. So my mother-in-law's 70th birthday was the original reason for the trip. And so it's extended family, but there's 10 total of us. I would have actually enjoyed the invite, and it would have been a night away for Lauren and I to get away from the group. So that would have actually been a
Plus one.
bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bonus of like, hey, actually, you guys could watch the kid. Lauren and I will get a date night away. We'll go to a wedding 2 hours away by train and enjoy basically a night away.
Would you have rather, let's say you could be teleported to either one for experience. So no travel, no nothing. You get to either get teleported to Leo Fioravanti's Italian wedding or get teleported front row to watch Rob Machado, Kelly Slater, and Jack Johnson together again playing music.
Um, Leonardo Fioravanti times 10, no offense. I did see the Instagram clips of it, and the only thing that like tugged a sentimental string for me was the soundtrack to September Sessions, which I haven't watched for a long time, but I loved that film.
Okay, so here we go. I saw that clip as well. For those who have not seen it, I think it was the Solento. Is it the Solento Film Festival?
Yes.
Which is it in the Laguna or where is it exactly?
Uh, San Diego. I forget where, but it's in San Diego somewhere. Oceanside, maybe?
So Solento Tequila, again, for those who don't know, is a very, very fine tequila brought to you by none other than Momentum Film Auteur. What's his name again?
Taylor Steele.
Taylor Steele. I was trying to work myself into remembering his name by drawing out what he did. But anyway, uh, Taylor Steele and Sybil, his ex-wife's, their tequila, fine tequila film festival. Kelly, Jack, and Rob on stage playing. I haven't heard Jack Johnson now play for uh I don't know. When was the last time Jack Johnson was like in the news playing any music? Years ago. Seems he hasn't been
I mean,
publicly.
he's touring all the time, but in the news, I haven't seen him in the news
Yeah,
for
and
a
he
long
doesn't
time.
pop up into like, but I realized listening to that, I hate, passionately hate his music so badly. I'm sure he's a great guy. That like guitar strummy, whatever him and Rob and Kelly do. Rob, I love you too. I hate your music. I hate everything about it. I hate the way it sounds. It makes my teeth ache and my skin bristle when I hear it. It's lazy. It is there's no art to it. It's just like feel good vibes, ching a ching a ching, playing some chords, singing with my song like this, my voice. It's so awful. I hate it. And I didn't realize how bad I hated it until I re-experienced it.
Okay, I got a lot to say about that, but I think that I experienced a modicum of what you're talking about because it was displayed on Instagram. And I felt the level of cringe just based on that. But he absolutely tapped into
He
the
did.
sim the simplicity of this thing, and he's good at the simplicity of this thing, and it resonates with a lot of people for a reason. And I will give you an argument against what you're saying. How do you feel about the Beatles' Blackbird?
That's great. But the Beatles Blackbird is part of if the Beatles played Blackbird and then crappier versions of Blackbird and then softer versions of Blackbird and only did that, then I would not like Blackbird. Like Blackbird as part of the Beatles catalog is great. Uh crappier chinga chinga ching. It's awful. It's and I will
Okay,
say
okay.
and Jack Johnson is not awful. And I wish that I did dislike the dude. I'm sure he is a by everything I hear, he's a wonderful family man, fully gives back to the community, right? I mean, how much has Jack Johnson contributed? I think he contributes his both time and energy and money for great causes. Nothing about that. He just makes the worst music to ever be made. And anyone who likes Jack Johnson's music is an imbecile. I'm sorry. They have no taste.
Okay. Wait a second. I I think that okay, Blackbird would be up here. Willie Nelson, like Rainbow Connection, is
Yeah.
is is somewhere over the rainbow. These are all similarly simple but beautiful. Heart
But you're
can't argue
pulling
against
one
them.
song. If Willie
Ja
Nelson only played over the somewhere over the rainbow, Willie Nelson had some like
Rainbow
country
Connection.
twang and stuff. Yeah, Rainbow Connection. Sorry.
A
Right.
lot of songs about rainbows.
Yeah.
Um, Jack Johnson has one or two that land below those, but still rank as, melodically beautiful songs. And then he has 15 albums full of others that then fall short of that, which I agree with.
Yeah, but and so I
But there's a
guess
couple. There's a couple.
yeah, like, and I don't, again, Jack, you won't hear this, but Rob, if you hear it, apologize to Jack for me. You're all great people. You just make horrible music and have horrible taste in music. That is, it's not a genre. You created a genre of white boy Hawaiian quiet. And somehow Kelly loves this too. They all love it. It's like the white boy Hawaiian quiet that you play on your boat trip in Indo. And somehow they all had guitars. They couldn't really get too funky with it. So they just like ching ching. They found their chords, and then they thought, let's take this to the world. And the world opened up and said, yes, we crave this too. Jack Johnson, we want this in our Curious George. We want this is the perfect balm to soothe our weariness. But I'm going to say the world is stupid. Look at the world. Look at how dumb they are. The world has no taste, especially Americans. Jack Johnson, that's who you appeal to. It's awful music. You should apologize.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong about this one. I hate to admit it. Um, so where were we going? Okay, Solento. Oh, we were supposed to also plug. You're doing
Yes. Perfect time to plug this Monday Eve up in Laguna Beach. If you happen to be there, and this is going to be, David Lee, you will have something to say about the importance. So it is I'm trying to get the exact thing here.
So at the Rivian Theater in Laguna Beach, our buddies from the Florida Surf Film Festival are in town, and they're going to be putting together a night with Greg MacGillivray. And Chaz, are you hosting the? Q and
I'm he-
A?
I'm helping. I am going to be on stage with John and Kevin of the Florida Surf Film Festival for some Q&A after. And this part is happening before the film. So catch this early and remind people the cultural and surf importance of Greg MacGillivray, David Lee Scales.
So Greg MacGillivray is 50% of MacGillivray and Freeman films, who made among the most iconic early surf films. Five Summer Stories was probably their big breakout. There was actually a film before that as well, but they made notable films through the 70s, and then Greg went on to do some IMAX films. He's won a ton of awards through in Hollywood throughout his career. He is a Laguna Beach original. I think he's lived there his whole life. He still lives there. And the Rivian Theater is obviously this revitalized theater in Newport that Rivian bought, or not
Laguna.
Newport, in Laguna. Yeah, sorry. That Rivian bought and is doing incredible stuff with now, a lot of it adjacent and directly related to the surf industry. So this is going to be a night with Greg MacGillivray. They're showcasing his film Dolphins, which I've never seen. So that'll be kind of the film that they're screening, but you guys are doing a Q&A with Greg beforehand, so come on out.
Yeah, kind of live podcast day, September 22nd at 6:30 p.m. Doors open, Rivian Theater, Laguna. I'm sure you can go on Rivian Theater and figure out tickets.
But yeah, if you want to hang with Chaz, if you want to hang with Greg, and the Florida Surf Film Boys, come, and probably a who's who of other surf luminaries, come out to the Rivian Theater on Monday night. And it's just a great venue, and they do such great stuff there. So cool evening, Monday
I
night.
don't think Jack Johnson will be there. Hopefully not, although he might be because Kevin Miller and John Brooks, the Florida Surf Film Festival, got their Rivian truck stolen by none other than Jack Johnson.
Did they?
hmm I think
They were supposed to get a loaner, and Jack got it.
they were supposed to get a SUV. Jack was supposed to get the pickup. Jack came and got their SUV on accident or maybe on purpose, and they were left with the pickup.
I wonder how the pickup is.
Pickup's great. I got to cruise around in it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, phenomenal
Uh,
vehicles, those Rivians.
I know we've benefited from that relationship and got the SUV
Sure
last time we
did.
were in Florida.
Sure did.
Um, so I had more thoughts on Jack. I can't access them now, but
I can't wait for and listener, prove me wrong. Tell me that Jack Johnson, show me where in
oh,
music importance the Jack Johnson sound, why where it belongs, why it's essential. What did it move along? What came out of it
m-
that is good too?
so I would also like to see him have another go at filmmaking because I loved Thicker Than Water. So I'd love to see what he could do more in that space. But do you know how much he gets paid for his what his fee is to come play a set?
I'm gonna guess. Are we talking like his fee to come play a set at like a function or his at a function?
Yeah, if you
I'm gonna say 50 grand.
way off. And this information I heard secondhand, so don't take it to the bank, so to speak. And Jack's people may come at me for getting it wrong,
Don't worry,
but
they're gonna like the show so far. They're gonna like what we've said about Jack Johnson.
but no, way, way more.
$1.5 million.
One flat.
One flat. Wow. Imagine. I mean, again, after saying all this bad stuff, kudos to Jack Johnson. Like, no one probably deserves it more, right? From, again, everything you hear and the way he pours himself into community. Congrats, Jack Johnson. And I wish that I could do something so terrible that I got paid $1 million for.
Or
So
simple.
odious.
If you could just figure out the simplest equation for writing or for public speaking or something that was just like easy delivery, light lift, 3 hour commitment, and you show up and you collect $1 million paycheck for doing it.
Man, Jack Johnson figured out the best life. Do you think that Kelly Slater looks on over at Jack Johnson with green jealousy? Because Jack Johnson figured out a better life than Kelly Slater. Kelly Slater
Kelly
got to
works
be, yeah,
a lot harder for $1 million.
Yeah, he looks over and Jack is there doing exactly what he wants, surfing where he wants, family, all of it, whatever he wants, and going to strum the guitar, which is what Kelly secretly wants more than anything, is to be a rock and roller, right? Or a
That's
music person. Like
that's true.
anytime Kelly can get up on stage with Pearl Jam or Jack, or and he is not shy. He is not, oh no, no, no.
He's asking. He's
Kelly's
begging.
begging. Kelly's got his
Uh,
guitar already in case outside.
so the my other understanding is there's a stack of offers. Like he doesn't take them all. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll do as many nights as I can. It's just he'll cherry pick the ones he wants to do. But there's a stack of 20 high at any given time that are just like, please come play and we'll pay the fee. How crazy
Man.
is that?
I mean, it's great. But if I'm ever just any listener, just so you know, if you are a multimillionaire and invite Jack Johnson to play your party and I'm invited, I will flip over a table and storm out once Jack Johnson takes the stage.
Um, so tangentially, or maybe not at all, but in as it relates to making money, Leonardo Fioravanti, who we were just speaking about, his main sponsor for the last year or two, do you know who it is?
K-Wave, I think.
Yeah, Way,
Yeah.
K Way.
K-Way. Sorry. Yeah.
So, Stab Magazine just did an article and posted a little introduction clip to Chippa Wilson's new sponsor. Do you
Ooh,
know who
who's
it
Chip?
is?
No, I don't. K-Way also?
No, but um, equally as little known. It's called Forecast Surf, and it's a Sardinian surf company.
Forecast Surf.
So
They make clothes or is it
coming
a
soon.
surf line?
Yet to be revealed. Go to their website and you could sign up for the mailing list. So when they launch, you can be the first to know. But Chippa is a guy who went from Fox, when Fox dabbled in surf, to Analog, when Analog dabbled in surf, to Brixton, when Brixton dabbled for a moment, probably longer than those other companies, and now Forecast. And when I was growing up, it was the ideal relationship was 2 decades, get like one of the big four and do it for 10 years or 20 years, whatever you could. And it was always the people who were transitioning in and out of these kind of medium to small brands that their careers suffered as a result. The opposite could be said about Chippa, and the opposite could be said about just the way things have changed now with social media, where short term pay per post pays actually better than a lot of that stuff. So, what are your thoughts on this new relationship for Chippa and even Leonardo Fioravanti? Does it benefit his career? Does it benefit the brand to do these kind of short term temporary deals?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think that I don't know what the numbers are on the K-Way deal or Chip's deal, obviously. The wife has done some with K-Way. I can't remember for who, but they're like a full legit, I think they're a French company. They might be Italian now that I think about it. I can't remember. But they're one of those that you wouldn't see in market if you're your average American, but have like a tidy business going on in, European markets or Asian markets or wherever. Like I don't know exactly where K-Ways is, but I think it's like you look at it and think, I have never, or average American would look at it and say, I've never seen that brand, therefore that brand is small. And I think that brand is healthier than any of the ABG, Quicksilver Volcom Vans. I think it's, maybe not as big, but I think a lot healthier. And I would hope that the forecast surf is too, right? Like they've established their market. They don't need to make crazy, they're not publicly traded. They don't need to make crazy year on year hit projections. They can just steadily grow. They can bring on a Chippa or Leonardo Fioravanti as a partner, to help them grow it. And it seems like it's just healthy. It seems like that's a healthier way to go about. Nobody's getting rich probably, but it's working.
The older we get and the more talking we do here, the more I realize how I was wrong all along for the first 20 years of my life. Like perceiving things the way that I perceived them from my narrow Orange County kind of myopic view. Pointy thruster, four brands, that's the way you do it over and over and over again was
Yep.
so homogeneous and obviously proved financially for all those companies to not be. viable. Um, and then I'd look over at Laird Hamilton on Oxbow and point
Oxbow.
and laugh, you know, point and laugh. But it's like, no, that company's still around. They're still thriving. He's still around. He's still thriving. And that's where you need to be doing the business.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like if you are that kind of surfer, uh, I mean, and talking about another, I guess, sponsor like Clay Marzo on Ruka, right? On the other hand, here we have Clay Marzo on a fully failed now ABG brand, right? Like, who knows? I mean, I'm sure Ruka has somebody, a brand manager in charge of it. So I don't want to make complete fun of the brand. You know, I'm sure there's people still working there that are core to the industry. But Ruka is just another one of these, you know, it's a licensing deal with Authentic Brands Group. Uh, yeah, which I mean, I get it's great, I guess, that Marzo's getting paid, but I would like Marzo to see Marzo go somewhere. I mean, I guess it's all the same, right? If you're getting paid, you're getting paid.
So the unfortunate thing for Marzo is the only time these relationships are successful, whether it is a big brand, more so when it's a small brand, but I think even so when it's a big brand, is each person, the surfer working hard for the company and the company working hard for the surfer. So he should be hyping the brand, believing in it, wearing it, promoting it. And that brand should have enough capital in the coffers to where they can buy out a corner window display at the retailer and stock the retailer with clothing for the consumer to buy. And they're promote and then running ads in magazines or on podcasts of that surfer. So it's mutually beneficial. Clay Marzo clearly doesn't do that for the
Yeah.
sponsors based on, whatever. So Clay isn't doing that for them, and Ruka at this point isn't doing that for Clay. And so it's a thing where they buy into each other because that's the model that they operate under, but they're not actually doing the work that was originally set out to do.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know how, you know, again, I don't know the structure of what those ABG brands are, right? If they're under some umbrella underneath ABG, where then that dude runs Billabong, Ruka, you know, the surf, whatever, and you know, who knows? But yeah, it just seems like I'm glad that they're paying that Clay gets paid to surf, because I want to see Clay surf more as an end user, I suppose. But yeah, Clay's not going to be out there shilling product.
No, but I think Laird Hamilton honored all of his obligations with Oxbow for a period of, you know what I mean? Like took it seriously. I remember last time I talked to Garrett McNamara on the podcast, he talked about that with I think it was Thule, the company that makes like
Rex.
racks for your car. Yeah. He's like, we entered this arrangement. They wanted to get, you know, their marketing team wanted photo shoots on certain days with me using their products. I showed up early. I'd stay late. We'd do these photo shoots. It really only amounted to 8 days a year, but that created enough marketing materials for them to have for the rest of the year that they could just roll out. I got paid for the entire year's worth of work. It's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? And so you think about it in those terms, and it becomes, I mean, it is transactional, but it's a great product. He's still using the product. So there's no, it's not disingenuous in that way, but you need to treat it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's hard. I think it's hard. I mean, again, from my perch very far outside the wife's business dealings and, you know, the professional athletes and stuff like that, it really is a tough one because athletes are inherently, especially when they're great, are inherently what I think generally, you know, place high value on themselves. Brands are always trying to like it really is a you'd think it could be work or you'd think it would work or could work or should work really ideally, right? Brand wants athlete, athlete's stoked to work with brand, exactly like the Garrett McNamara, you know, arrangement goes. Athlete shows up on time early, whatever, works hard, is happy, brand is super appreciative, gets what they want, pays well, but everyone's always trying to screw each other. I guess it's just the nature of business. It feels not always, but you know, the brand's always trying to put clauses in that allow them to wiggle out of this or that or the other thing. Athlete is also trying to show up for less days because it's blah blah blah, on both sides. Rarely is it kind of and it all works at the end, but maybe that's just how business is supposed to shake out. Everybody goes in trying to get theirs and ends up on a field.
That's the way it's happened for a lot of the surf brands. And I guess that's where I'm saying my Orange County myopia was all wrong all along. And that's what the Bobby Martinez conversation from last week was kind of based in. If I surf good, if I'm from this area and I surf good enough, I'm the dream child. Everybody should want me and just pay me. And I don't even have to do anything else. I don't have to show up anymore. As soon as that contract signed with a big company, golden ticket, I'll then go surf and become a world champ. And that's just happened for very, very few people. That's not
Yeah.
the reality for 99% of pro surfers.
I'm glad for Chippa though, and Leo too. But to find someone, right? I mean, who knows if he has skin in the game or what the dynamic is, but I love seeing new brands start to come up and sponsoring surfers.
Yeah, I think it can be beneficial.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
I
it
love it.
can be mutually beneficial.
Sure, because I love Chippa. And if I saw Chippa somewhere in some new Italian surf brand, where was it? From Sicily
Sardinia.
or Sardinia? In a Sardinian surf brand, I'd be like, huh, what's this? I'd be curious. I'd be piqued.
The logo looked cool, the color scheme looked cool, and then Chippa's edit is still unreal. Like his style of surfing, obviously you have to like it. It's not for everybody, but he's the best at that style of surfing.
Yeah, Chippa. Man, I remember when Chippa came up. Chippa was one of those real funny ones. Like I was in Australia, I think, when he won Stab's Little Weeds or whatever it was. It wasn't a Little Weed. What was it?
I don't know.
He won some Stab contest, basically. Like, let's find a good unknown surfer. And
Hmm.
Chippa won that thing. That's how Chippa was entirely unknown until that contest, and then or that whatever it was. I can't even remember. But I remember seeing him and the name and the way he looked and the way he surfed, and I was like, how is this kid? How is this kid? Hidden. Like he's such an obvious talent, but he wasn't apparently. He's a
He's,
diamond in the
he's
rough.
like Aussie Wright 2.0.
Yeah,
Um, you know his real name?
Chris.
Exactly. Chippa
Chris
suits
Wilson.
him so much better.
So it's perfect. The whole name, every bit of it.
There's too many Chris Wilsons out there.
Yep.
Well, moving on from that, kind of the biggest story of the week that maybe we should have led with was Joel Tudor goes to war with American Airlines after longboards rejected from flight.
It was hard for me to I missed Joel Tudor. I realized going in that Joel Tudor has me well blocked on Instagram. I'm not blocked by Kelly Slater anymore, though I probably will be after this episode. But Joel Tudor has me in outer darkness.
Did you get to see the post?
Somebody else reposted it. That's how and then I thought, oh, I haven't seen Joel Tudor around and went to go check Joel Jitsu, and this account does not exist. Oh, Joel
So
Tudor must have
Joel,
canceled his account. They did
he did not. Jack Johnson this week too. Everybody's quitting. Everybody hates Mark Zuckerberg. Um, so he posted on Instagram 5 days ago that he booked a flight to Hawaii on Hawaiian Airlines and was rejected. His longboards were rejected at the gate. He paid for them, presumably in advance. They didn't refund the money. So they rejected his longboards. They didn't say, this is oversized, overweight. So now you owe an extra 150, whatever. Fully rejected. We will not put these surfboards on our airplane. Then he said he wasn't going to fly without his surfboards. He needed them. So they canceled his ticket, did not refund his ticket, did not offer to rebook, and did not refund the money that he paid to fly the surfboards. So they took his money to put the surfboards on the plane and did not refund that money.
Okay. Never, I don't think once in my life have I ever thought that maybe the airline, the big corporate beast who seeks regularly to charge us more while giving us less. That's airline 101. Squeeze your customer as find the pain point where they're in agony, but still going to pay you maximum amount of dollars for that agony. Correct?
Yes.
This one, I thought there's too much left. I don't trust Joel on this one. I want to trust Joel. I want Joel to be an accurate, but I'm thinking there's no stinking way, Joel. I can where I will say probably is that they said, hey, these boards are too long, right? There is a actual length, which is I think it was 115 inches, which is 9.5 or something, right? Which
Okay.
maybe is the whole coffin. Has to be 9.5, not just the boards, whatever. Okay. Obviously, they can make fudge on that, right? So I could see somebody being cranky and not bending on that rule. I can see a cranky. I've been in front. I had to miss a flight to Canada while the standing teary eyed at the gate because while the wife and kid went on because they had whatever airlines suck, right? But this one, the part that I'm thinking, there's no way they kept the surfboard charge on his credit card. They might have accidentally not taken it off, or he might have been unclear about that. I guarantee when he called back and said, hey, you charged me, that was an oversight. They didn't purposefully, but he made that a big part of his thing. Like, not only did they kick me off, not only did they cancel my flight, and make me pay full pop for the flight. They made me pay for my surfboards that aren't flying. And I'm thinking, okay, Joel, you went too far here. You had me and you went too far. Because if that happened, it was a straight oversight.
Okay. So that was your main takeaway here.
My main takeaway was Joel was I'm built. I'm ready to hate airlines. I watched Joel's thing and I'm thinking, you did something wrong, Joel, was my takeaway from that, which made me think Joel Tudor is not a good vessel for public outrage. I look at Joel
Okay.
getting publicly outraged and I think, I'm Team Hawaiian here, Joel. Sorry about it.
This is hilarious. This has to be absolutely influenced by your past experiences
I
or
haven't had a
exposure
bad,
to Joel, to
yeah,
exposure to him.
yes, I
Exposure,
haven't
that's
had
it.
I haven't bad, and for whatever reason, he blocked me. I have never had I've interviewed him before on stuff and he was gracious and great. So this is not anti Tudor. If he comes on though, I mean, not if he comes on. This one in particular, I thought you fucked up somehow, Joel Tudor. Like I'm not getting the complete story here. There's too much bad happened here for this to be actually real.
So what I'm saying is this one in particular is he's delivering the speech with zero emotion. It's him being calm as could be. He's articulate. He's like explaining it thoroughly. I thought this was the most well delivered and also um, justified complaint that he's ever delivered in his life.
So you didn't pause to think, wait a second, wait 1 second here. Like I suppose the whole argument did fall down on them charging his credit card for the boards that they refused to fly, right?
For you, that's where it fell down.
That's where it fell down because then I thought once that thing, because I was thinking that is a blatant untruth. And not that Joel, you are purposefully lying about this, but this was just a miss in the thing. Maybe you were so irate that you weren't getting flown or whatever. You were just cancel it. And then, they just kept it on. You march away, et cetera, et cetera. Him making this a foundational element to his rage story, because this is the ender. This was the grand finale is not only they say they fly boards for free. I've flown for 35 years, with Hawaiian. That was the opener. That was the preemie. The segundi was they canceled my ticket without rebooking me. And then the preemie, sorry, what's your main course?
Well, the Segundi is usually the main.
Well, then your dessert, your amuse
We're on
bouche.
to dessert at this point.
Yeah, your dessert. I mean, it was the coup de grace at the end was, and they had the audacity to charge my credit card for the boards that they refused to fly. And I thought, Joel, shame on you.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this right now, but you you're going to still take umbrage with the delivery, the way him putting emphasis on that, you can still take umbrage with, but I think to the bottom of it is you're at the gate. They don't have the power to refund your charge that you did online 24 hours ago. So even if so they declined his flight, his card was still charged in that moment. He went home, he made the video. All of that is still true. He would have to get on the phone with customer service later or on the internet to get them to redact the charge. He
It's
had not
annoying.
gone through that process. So it's super annoying. That's the way they operate. So I think all of it was true. You're still going to take umbrage with his delivery was putting emphasis on this thing that he could get redacted later.
Did you? Okay, but back to, and again, the curse of airlines, curse them uh, for their nitpicky, bloody, 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 blah. When you, though, happen to have, again, happened to me not that long ago, we got to the gate, whatever, or sorry, to the baggage place, whatever, and the Canadian, there were still bags like on the belt. Could see them tick, 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 tick. They were onto this flight at the check-in. And she was like, nope, too late to check bags, too late to check bags. And I could see it. I'm like, but there's one going right there. You could easily do this one and it follows right there. She's like, nope. And so, and of course, I was furious, right? Like I'm standing there. So wife and kid went without bags to get the flight. I pulled all the bags, drove home, booked a ticket for the next day, went, blah, blah, blah. I had to do, all because of her being a jerk face. Uh, so Joel certainly hit up against a jerk face. Some jerk faces work for airlines. I'm trying to think, what then do you do with that? Joel was clearly in the wrong here in terms of
No,
the letter of the law. In terms of the letter of the law, his boards were for sure bigger than the 115 cubic inches or 115 linear inches.
that would make logical sense if that was the crux of the original denial. I don't know that to be true, but I'll go with it.
So again, let's assume Joel was flying with a glider or two.
A 10 footer.
Yeah. And so he was over, and again, it would have been what's a 9.5 versus a 10 foot? Heck, what's a 9.5 versus a 11 foot, right? But so the airline counter worker was a jerk face, and these people are jerk faces. But are they jerk? Does the airline suffer? The airlines, I am mad at airlines all the time, but I wasn't necessarily mad. I wasn't at all mad at Canadian or Air Canada because of my experience. I was mad at that person. That person is unreasonable and a bad person. The person that Joel dealt with, I would give him benefit of the doubt that was an unreasonable bad person. But Hawaiian had the rules and Joel didn't follow them.
I
And again,
think
Air Canada had the rules, and apparently I didn't follow it either. I swore it was minute to minute there, so I could have said I was here 30 seconds on time. But whatever, that's one man's clock versus another.
so. The additional argument that Joel was making is about or I'm sorry, Hawaiians um, embrace of surf culture in their marketing and promoting of surf culture in their marketing, and then not actually supporting the surfer customer. Because he was like, you're using Zeke Lau riding a longboard in your ad campaign. He's not even a longboard surfer, but he's riding a longboard in the ad. You know what I mean?
With
And he
his
gave a couple of,
cute daughter.
yeah, and it gave a couple of other examples. So I think all of that is founded in, I think those are all reasonable arguments to make. Joel Tudor is one of the greatest longboard ambassadors that have ever existed. Hawaiian embraces longboarding in their marketing. They should know who Joel Tudor is. Not that they should make necessarily an accommodation. Yeah, it's kind of an insane. On its face, it's insane.
But I'm going to say that this is not damning of Hawaiian. It is damning on the unbending, rule following employee. It is one employee, not, and again, I would love to kick the airline under the bus quick. Hawaiian, all the airlines have such rotten policies. Joel got caught up with a bad person and
Do
then
you
made it
know
about Hawaiian.
how? So, because I've been in Italy, I haven't been tracking the surf world as closely as I normally do, but do you know how this is all ended up in the last day or two? Because I saw his thing went viral so much so that it's being reported on at
Regularly.
least Hawaiian news stations. I don't know about national news stations, but
I am in outer darkness once again, blocked from the light, so
okay.
I cannot see or know. But I would imagine for sure a representative called back, figured it out with Joel and refunded his flight ticket and refunded and probably gave him some vouchers or whatever, right? You assume that's the way these things go when they hit that level. Uh, but again, the sorry, Joel. Uh, again, people in at least wrote about it on Beach Grid in the comments. People were like, "How does Joel Tudor not?" He was going like from Hawaii to California. How does Joel not have his stinking longboards in Hawaii and then more stinking longboards in California? Why is he traveling with them to begin with? Like, it's pretty asinine for him to be doing that.
I don't think so at all. I mean, I think he probably does have longboards in Hawaii and California, and then there's sometimes he wants to bring them back and forth for some reason. I mean, ultimately, you've made a well-reasoned argument for letter of the law, stick to letter of the law. But I think even with the letter of the law, Joel has a case and also knows that he has the leverage of social media that can actually help him win the case. And I would absolutely have done the same thing if I was Joel.
Would you, let's say family is flying back. I mean, this is the problem with these. There's enough now. We've reached peak mad at company. I'm going to do my Instagram post about company, right? When I see one of these now, my initial reaction is not that bad company. My initial reaction is, okay, Karen, like, okay, well, you're airing your obviously, car rental companies screw you and airlines screw you, and you got a bad piece of produce at the grocery store because the grocery store is screwing you. You can take restitution there, not by going on Instagram. You could just steal. But uh, I'm tired of the this company screwed me post.
I agree with you now that that tide has shifted to where when you first see it,
Yeah,
you're annoyed by the person delivering it and think that they're
exactly.
being a Karen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, duh, the airline screwed you. Guess who else the airline screwed that one day, Joel Tudor? They screwed 50% of the people in the airport got screwed somehow. Rarely do you make it on through the air, like through the airport, onto the plane, off the plane, baggage check, and think, wow, what an experience. Sometimes you do. And when you have those times, I guess this is what I would encourage both Joel and others. If you're going to go on your Karen rant, then when you have that experience, when everything worked out well, pull your phone out and say, you know what? I just flew to X and I was treated so well along the way, and it was a great experience. Maybe that would balance out. Then I would have more room for the Karen posts.
You know who did that with me recording a podcast with them?
Who?
Makua Rothman,
Who did he come out and praise?
Quicksilver. So when he did a podcast with Jamie and Mason 6 months ago, and he said in it he was he was admitting about dealing drugs personally, and then said that's how a lot of the surf brands were started was with drug money, and he mentioned Quicksilver specifically, and I was like, when I interviewed him, I'm like, that was did you get any flack from that? He goes, no, I just spoke the truth. And I go, yeah, but you mentioned a specific company by name and made a pretty, illicit allegation. And he goes, you know what? You're right. He goes, it was not cool of me to call them out by name. And I actually apologize. I would like to now apologize to them specifically because I used to be sponsored by them. I know a lot of great people at the company. He's like, I don't know the inner workings from the early days of like the owner himself, what he was involved with or not, So totally apologize to Quicksilver for saying that publicly.
Makua Rothman, the man we need to be, the hero for today.
I know. I was kind of surprised to hear him say that.
Good job, Makua.
But he hadn't to just, he did not receive any sort of negative response from them based on the initial podcast. Like they didn't send him any cease and desist or anything like that.
There's a whole book about Quicksilver and cocaine called Cocaine and Surfing, a love story.
Yeah, it was like there's books been written about it already, so it's not exactly like he was outing them. Doors open in this house, dude, by themselves.
Ghosts.
Yes, I think so.
Italian
This
ghosts. Speaking of Italian ghosts, are you going to watch Paolo Sorrentini's new? I can't tell if it's a documentary or what. It's Mussolini, Son of the Century, I think it's called.
I didn't know this was happening.
I mean, if you can catch it, I keep looking for it here and it's blocked, it feels. So it must not be out in the US, but it might be available in your Italy.
I answer is yes, I will watch.
I mean, anything by Sorrentini.
I agree. Sorrentino.
Sorry, Sorrentino. There's two of them.
Um,
The Sorrentini.
um, I had a so final thought on the airline thing. When I went to Peru, I was checking in my board bag and the I went to the gate or I went to the kiosk and it says, "Are you checking an extra bag?" I said, "Yes." It says, "Is it sports equipment?" "Yes." And then they give you options. Is it a bicycle? No. Is it golf equipment? No. Other. And it's they just charged me for an extra bag, 35 bucks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm getting away cheap, extra bag. So I go to then hand it off to the girl. She goes, "Oh, you didn't clock this in as a surfboard." I'm like, "No, there was no on your six options. Surfboard wasn't one of them." She goes, "Okay, well, I'm going to have to, it's overweight and it's oversized or whatever. So I'm going to have to charge you more for it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I figured." And she couldn't figure out how to do it because her screen only had a limited number of options as well. So then she turns to the girl next to her, and the girl next to her is like, "You have to charge overweight 150 and oversized 150." And I was like, "No, that's not right. That's not right." But there's an element of I want to argue, but not so much that they then dig their heels in.
Yeah.
It's this
Totally.
delicate dance that you're doing. So then I go, "Well, why is it oversized?" And she goes, "Well, it's limited to 115, like you said." And I go, "This is only 7 feet long. It's not 115 inches." And the secondary girl goes, "No, you have to measure all the way around." I was
You're like,
like,
no, that's not a
"What?
linear. Yeah.
That's not a thing." Like in all measurements of any construction site, or like there's no version where you start at point A and do a full perimeter map to like,
How
and
big would
so
I think even a boogie board would be more than 115 inches if you went around the circumference, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So now I'm getting like, okay, like, so in, I don't need to give you every gritty detail because it lasted 20 minutes, but in the end, no charge at all.
Great.
In the,
Sprinkle in some nice guy with some, come on, with
so
some,
that is my recommendation. Now we could have cut out all the Joel back and forth and just given this recommendation is focus all your energy on charming.
well, the thing
That's
is,
you walk up and be polite, walk up, be respectful, be nice, give them a wink, be, you know what I mean? Like that gets you farther than anything. Because
well,
it all comes down to the power of the person right there.
the real truth of the matter is whether you get what you want or not, you're 100% guaranteed to get not what you want if you go up and rage. If you go up and really make a big deal about these are the rules, I'm in my right, get your manager over here. Like, I mean, I guess you could pitch such a fit that they accommodate you just to get rid of you. I guess that's your other option there, right? But you got to go one way or the other. If you go
That's
middle road,
risky.
it's risky. But if you want to go that way, go that way. But if you go middle road of just being taciturn and angry and like, then they'll just be happy to screw you.
So I take it back. I said charm. That's actually not my approach. My approach is bow down at their altar. My approach is walk up, and this person has all the power, and I'm going to acknowledge that from the moment I get here. And
Yep.
just like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, please, thank you. Here,
Yeah.
like, and then there's no need to wield the power on their behalf because they already know they hold it.
And also, I'm always perpetually confused. And maybe that's why I'm a bad employee. But why are you so intent on carrying the water if you're an employee of a multi-million or multi-billion dollar corporation? Uh, when you could just say, okay, it's fine, head on in. It's not like your 300 extra dollars is going to them. Like, I mean, I guess that's what kind of
Maybe,
employee I would be, is just a bribey kind. Hey, we can do this the
well,
easy way or the hard way.
Well, maybe they do benefit from it. Like in the rental car example that you gave, I know for a fact every time they sell on the added
Yeah.
insurance or the whatever upgrade, like they're incentivized to do it.
I can't imagine though that airline checker inners are getting incentivized for board bag fees and
No, you're
whatnot.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So you're right. They should not be sympathizing with, identifying with the conglomerate. They should be looking at you and I going, I'm going to save you 35 bucks. I'm going to save you
Exactly.
150. Every time I can save you, you know what? You're going into business class too.
I'll tell you, every time I fly, and obviously every flight now, the beer gets charged. When you get the stewardess or sorry, flight attendant who hands you the beer and then like kind of pretends to get their, charging device and then waves it off, I'm always like, yes, thank you. That beer did not come out of your pocket. It's coming out of the airline. Why not? Why not just hook a brother up here? And you did. Thank you.
You drink beer on flights?
Yeah, you don't?
Wine.
Really?
Why beer instead of hard liquor?
I don't know. I'm kind of off the hard liquor on like the beer you can nurse longer. Uh, and wine is inevitably bad in a plastic bottle. Beer is inevitably normal in a can.
I have gotten to the point where I embrace the crappy airline wine now.
Red,
Yeah.
like with the meal. I mean, the international flight with the meal, I'll definitely do it there. Of because I'm looking lights out, sleepy time. I want this airline meal. I want the glass of red wine, and I want to nod off watching Sex and the City Part Two. Uh, but yeah, then I will, but not in domestic flight. And that's, I suppose, when I'll drink the airplane beer is my domestic go.
It's served cold. The wine is always served cold, which masks a lot of the imperfections, the terribleness of it. Um, yeah.
Which airline
Anyways,
did you fly going over? Did you have a fine airline meal?
no, it wasn't fine. We were on American coming this way, and then we're on British Airways going back.
Okay, so you're gonna have
So
some bangers and mash headed home
we'll see.
if you head home.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I gotta get to dinner. It's late here, but
Great.
let's kind of blow through. I want to give you two true grit or clickbait stuff options. Quote, Surf Boy Mark Zuckerberg surfers
Suffers.
socially. Oh, sorry.
It
Let me
might
try
be
that again.
suffers.
I'll do I'll cut that. Take two. Surf Boy Mark Zuckerberg suffers socially awkward moment when cool AI shades fail.
Did you watch this?
No.
Oh, so the video is kind of funny. I mean, it's not super funny, but it's Mark Zuckerberg with his Ray-Ban AI shades, and he asked them to answer a call, and then they can't do it. Like the AI just fails, and so he's standing there like kind of awkwardly, as they do, talk about and then shoots it over to a chef who's like, "Hey man, let's try making a mm, Korean inspired steak sauce for your steak sandwich." And then chef is like, "Oh, great idea, because I've never done this before. AI, how meta AI, whatever it's called, how do I do this?" And he is in the Ray-Bans too. And it's like, good, you have all the ingredients. And he's like, yep. And then it tells him just put them in a bowl or something. And he's like, okay, what's the first step? Put them in a bowl. And then it's just full on fail. So then it's Mark and this dude just failing away with their AI, which is funny.
Um, you know how QR codes came out like 10 years ago
Yeah. And
and
we're
they had
worthless.
yeah, well, they had all the potential in the world. They were going to like radically change everything. And then totally didn't until COVID happened
Yep.
and nobody could have a paper menu. And then all of a sudden the QR code starts getting its moment in the sun.
Yep.
I feel like that is what those AI shades are going to do. Like I'm sure the technology is incredible and has some sort of an application, but putting it in Ray-Ban Wayfarers is not the right delivery
I don't know
system.
why. I don't know why they keep doing this though. This is not the first go around. Do you remember the Google Glass?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So 10 years ago now, I think Google did Google Glass, which was like a computer. It wasn't AI, but it was like the computer on your face. It does, you talk to it, it does all the stuff. I don't know how it's different from AI in that regard. I had a pair of Google Glass. I think wife had done a deal or something. Or yeah, a friend worked for Google. That's what it was. A friend worked for the Google, so just gave us a pair of Google Glass. That thing, worthless. Like it was so worthless. You'd think that you'd wander around with it. You have it for free. You'd think you'd use it. Just why not? I like tried it on and played with it for 5 minutes. Never touched it again. Even kid put it on and was like, nobody used it. That thing, I think it's still in a dump drawer in the house to this day. What do you need? Are you literally walking around looking at, hey, I need to make a Korean inspired steak sauce? You don't need that. Nobody's ever going to use their dumbass glasses to do that. You're not going to have your Ray-Bans on in the house anyway.
That is the problem. I have a buddy who had the door just opened again.
Ghosts.
Um,
Ghosts of
I have
podcasting.
I have a buddy who has them, and it is exactly that. He ends up putting them on, like he's not engaging in it like this type, like a regular conversation with me with them on. He like has to put them on to then like showcase what type of a tree is that or whatever. So
Yes.
it's not real world solving of problems in real time. I
No.
think that I think that everybody thought or he thought and Mark Zuckerberg hoped that it was like Minority Report where you walk through the city and you hear somebody speaking Chinese and it translates it immediately to
Yes.
you or whatever, you know. You don't have to solve any problems. You're wondering what the bus schedule is and it automatically downloads it into your brain for you type of a thing. But we're
Man,
not there.
no, not at all. And if we were going like the real world version of that today would be like one earbud that you always have in and that you
Right.
could talk to, right? Because you don't need to see it. You could say, hey, you know, whatever. I mean, I don't know. That would be the where we're at today. I could see an AI earbud that's just feeding you information all the time.
Yeah. Well, Surf Boy Mark Zuckerberg, I wouldn't expect him to navigate that mishap
Nope.
with
It
any
was
sort
real.
of tact or
Nope.
coolness.
Awkward and embarrassing.
Uh, Second one, DJ Steve Aoki puts on absolute barrel clinic at Kelly Slater's Surf Ranch.
I mean, when are they going to? First, he's wearing a bicycle helmet or it's some kind of helmet that's not. It might be a new surf helmet, but it's dorky looking. Uh, when will celebrities stop? When will anyone, Steve Aoki, somebody, I guarantee somebody who listens to this show knows Steve Aoki. You just got to go up to him and say, no, that's a no, dog. You don't do that. You don't do poo stance barrel and then say front side barrel and then a backside barrel where you're never in the barrel. You just get clipped by the lip and call it backside barrel. Like it would be, I mean, how do you not know this, Steve Aoki? It would be like if I, a non DJ, did some whole Instagram thing, posted my birthday party that I was DJing, but thought it was really cool. It was like hands up in the air, like, what up, people? You know, DJs, Chaz Smith in the house. Like, you would think that was dumb if I did that, Steve Aoki. So why are you doing that to surfing? Do better.
Well, because the core who is offended by him is such a minority.
I
The
mean, that's
vast majority of fans of his DJing see that and think now he's an even cooler DJ because he does that and Diplo didn't get barreled when he went to Surf Ranch.
Well, guess what book I'm working on right now? It's in the very early stages. It's called
Making fun of DJs.
basically, it's called a theatrical presentation of failure, colon, the decline and fall of surfing. It's just how surfing is done.
That's too ripe.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that could be a tome.
On the journey right now, even as we talk.
Good, good. Well, now I want you to rank in terms of musicians who have taken a super simple talent and made millions. How do you rank Jack Johnson versus Steve Aoki?
I'm going to say Jack Johnson has talent. Steve Aoki does not have talent. And I'm not just saying like that DJs are untalented. I think they are very talented. I suppose Steve Aoki has the talent of getting a room going, getting it up in the room, getting a room to jump around. So I'm going to say, I mean, I guess the fact that I'm going to say Jack Johnson because what Jack Johnson does is more odious than what Steve Aoki does.
Well, it's interesting. They do the exact opposite thing. Steve Aoki gets a room up and heart racing. Jack Johnson gets a room sedated.
Down, bring him down.
They they do the exact same thing, and yet they do the exact opposite thing.
It's so true. This could
They
be a whole
both
new,
play music.
could be a whole new section. The people who do the same things but opposite.
We got to think of a
Yeah,
catchy
it's
name for
so
this
true.
one.
They're equals.
Exactly. Okay. Well, stumbled upon something there. All right, let's go back to commercial. Or I'm sorry, let's go to commercial break and then we'll come back with the end of the show so then I can go eat pizza. Back from commercial, following up from last week's conversation about golf attire. Hey, DLS and Chaz, as a longtime golfer, totally agree with your take on the state of the patterned tech polo takeover in the golf industry. It's a travesty to the style and swag icons of mid-century golfers a la Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Lee Trevino, and the like. If you want a refreshing take on golf fashion, look no further than surfing's own Ryan Engel. He started a brand called Nation Golf with epic throwback visors, hard collar cotton polos, and more in an attempt to bring back the golden years when golf was a gentleman's game, and attire reflected this both on and off the course. Work, Andrew in Ventura.
Thank you, Andrew, for the tip. If I played golf, I'd be straight there. For you listener who does play golf, Nation, what's it called?
Yeah, Nation Golf. So I've actually followed Ryan for a long time. He's Orange County, kind of South Orange County surfboard shaper. Ryan Ingalls Shapes, but then also I think Nation Manufacturing was his surf brand adjacent, and then from that parlayed it into his second love of golf, and the adjacent brand was Nation Golf, and I think that's actually taken off bigger than his surf stuff even has, and it looks killer. Like it's comedic. It's obviously serving this exact niche. Seems great.
Done right.
Ryan Engel, done right. All right, well, barrel or nah? Um, oh, I guess we already covered them in some of my other segment. Private room when dining. I didn't
Barrel.
realize I was going to talk about that earlier. Super
Barrel.
barrel.
Yeah, great barrel.
Second one related to my dining experience here, foie gras.
I mean, did we not do foie gras? Foie gras, you don't get a bigger barrel in this world. You can have equal barrels, but you don't get a bigger one than foie gras, than fatted goose liver.
Well, I could have opened this app a little bit to just like potentially inhumane treatment of animals for our own
Veal.
gluttonous pleasure. But the reality is with foie gras, because I thought about it, as the foie gras went around the table and half the people said no, I was like, the inhumane version I can get behind, or I can understand boycotting. The sticking a feeding tube down the mouth of the animal, them living that experience just so I can eat their fatty liver, not cool. But the other version, the humane version is here's duck or geese in a free range scenario that they give all the food they want to. So just keep eating. If you want to eat, keep eating. Here's a ton of food. Have at it. That kind of feels justified. Like me
Not
eating
only
their liver.
justified, that seems like a win-win. That goose lived a king's life until it didn't. And then I got to eat its delicious fatness.
They got to live a greater life than they ever would have got to live had I not been at the end of this scale, the end of this life cycle or economic cycle.
Absolutely. I mean, I think free range foie gras, do they actually do that? Free range foie gras?
They do.
Is it as good, or it's probably its own thing, right? It's probably not quite as
It's the way foie gras existed prior to the
feeding tube. Yeah.
commercialization of food. Yeah,
Yes. Okay. Love it. Love it. All in 100%. But barrel for foie gras, unfortunately, either way. Some things are just too good, worth suffering.
totally agree. It is
Yeah.
one of life's great foods.
So is.
So the other barrel I have for you that's been 50-50 hot topic of contention here amongst our 10 people, bug spray.
Oh man. Okay. Tough one. Tough one. Tough one. There is a time and a place for bug spray. It is not nearly as often or as many places as people use it. Like I feel about bug spray like I do, same exact. I guess it's just the sprays in my life, like sunscreen, right? Is you see parents step out of the car, sunscreen up the kid, like it's cloudy, right? But you're outdoors, sunscreen up. Da, 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 da. We're outdoors, therefore we sunscreen. I feel there's that of the bug spray too. We are out away from the city. It's you just bug spray no matter what, right? I feel you get the lay of the land, You suss it out. You definitely don't bug spray during, I think you almost, unless you're in some real tropical place, you rarely need to bug spray during the day. Uh, where I'll can see bug spray or bug spray is helpful at night if you're just getting chewed alive by mosquitoes, where you could, spray down real quick and hop into bed and sleep well.
I'm full no barrel. Like
Not
I
even at
it
night.
the
Getting
smell is
skeety.
offensive.
It's gross. It's gross.
The smell is worse than the actual bites from the bugs themselves.
I mean, yes, except for if you have those ankle biters, particularly, and you could just douse your ankles a little bit. It's gross. It stinks. I don't know why it has to stink. Maybe that's why mosquitoes hate it too, because of the stink. Uh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I am not for it, but there's those times when you just hear that in your ear, and if you spray down, you're gonna be fine. There's no
Uh,
place for that bugger to land.
I'm doing battle, like lots of mosquitoes here, and I go, you know what? I'm gonna win this battle. I'm bit up for sure. I'm gonna slap as many as I can. I'm gonna leave the blood and the dead body either
Yeah.
on my skin or even around me until the message gets sent to all the other mosquitoes around. By the end of this trip, sure, maybe I have 30 bites, but I guarantee you, I'm going to be getting fewer bites on the final day than I am. And I'm not going to have the stink of bug spray and the potential cancerous chemicals that come with it.
I will say it's a complete barrel sending a message to bugs when it's fly season here. I think I mentioned it before, Southern California. So I sit at my desk or at my perch in the kitchen writing, see a fly, whack, get him with the fly swatter. I leave his corpse there. I leave like 5 or 6 around. And these are all food areas, but I'm leaving corpses around. Wife will come down and be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Sending messages, man. I'm not even burying these bodies. Letting every fly know what's coming, what's in it for them."
Mark my word, I fully agree. And mark my words, 10 years from now, we're going to get all these reports about cancer directly related to bug spray.
For sure.
And and so I'm steering clear.
Do you have bug spray panickers there? Or is it like wake up and first thing you do is just start spraying?
No, 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 no. But it is like certain hours of the day if you're going outside, spray it.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm
But
I'm
I'm
I'm glad and proud that because I think the only time I will say is a bedtime or I do appreciate like down in Mexico, go to the restaurant uh where they have the like little spray there. They know there's going to be skeeties just for the ankle shot. I can take care of my arms and whatnot, but those ankle bites are unfortunate.
annoying. I'm putting up with them.
Man,
They
but they
get they get
really
they get one they get one smack and then I never itch again. I just smack
that's
it hard and move on with my life.
man, yeah. Well, a better man than me, David Lee Scales. I'm gonna have some minor ankle cancer.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go persevere right now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend in California, and we'll be back on Monday on Noble Rod, I think.
Fantastic.
All right, man.
Great.
Until next week.
Keep work.